Hey folks, welcome back to Markelly Farm. We got a treat in the kitchen today. We got my brother Steve here. He's going to go through how to make his almond brittle that him and his dad made forever. He used to give me some every year. Fantastic stuff. Stick around, we'll get after it. So give me the history on this almond brittle.
My dad's been making this probably for 55 years. He used to make it when he was in the fire department at Empire Fire. Him and a guy named Floyd Reardon used to sit down there and they'd make it at the firehouse, and then they'd dish it out to family and friends all the time for years and years. And we've done it continuously for the last, 50 years. I know that. So he's passed it on to me.
Well, if we got some pictures of you and your dad doing it, we'll show everybody.
Well, I'll get them for you.
Steve's going to get this going. What's first?
Get a fire going. We'll get the hot. Get it in there full blast, full hot. First, we'll pour in the Karo Syrup.
I got you out a little spatula there to use if you need it.
Thank you. 1 cup of Karo Syrup, the liquid Karo Syrup.
Is it the light or the dark?
The light.
Okay. You need to be careful of our burners too. These front burners are huge. And they burn really hot. So.
Very good. Get that in going there. Next thing you'll do is you'll do the sugar. 1 cup of regular plain old sugar.
So equal parts Karo and sugar, 1 cup.
Correct.
Cool.
And we'll just let that mix melt down. And once it gets to a certain point, I go by smell just because we've made it for so many years that I can tell when it's there. It's a caramelized type smell that you get. And then at that time, once we get to that point, we'll pour the almonds in, which will then cool it down a little bit. And by putting the almonds in there, we roast them. So when we pour the almonds in, we'll start turning it. So once this gets to a certain point, a certain temperature, which I don't know what it is because we've done it by smell for so many years, we'll get to that point there, then we'll pour the almonds in.
Well, we got a little trick we're going to put you to the test so we can duplicate this. So we have our candy spatula we use, got a thermometer built in. So for inquiring minds, we'll be able to tell you the temperature that he pulls this out. All right, Steve's got his mixture of the sugars in here. What do you need to have ready to go in ahead of time?
What my dad has always called the secret ingredients, it is baking soda and salt. So 1 equal part of it, 1 teaspoon of each.
Teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of baking soda.
Inside.
You can put it in the same container.
Put it in the same container, okay. Mix it up good and everything else. And the almonds are going to go in next after this.
How many almonds for this recipe?
2 cups.
2 cups, okay.
1
so
cup.
You can double this recipe if you want, right?
Correct.
Okay. Or triple, whatever. Cool deal.
Yep.
We also have our pan over here with our parchment paper ready to rock, so he can come dump it right on here whenever he's ready. So I think we're getting close. What are you looking for, Steve?
A lot of the color in here is going to be as it starts to darken up a little bit. Because as soon as you put the baking soda in, it's going to lighten it up at the same time too. I also go by smell. I'm looking for that caramelization smell. Once it gets in there, it's getting close.
Yeah, I can smell.
We're at 325 now.
I can smell a little something going on.
But it's not enough yet for me.
So you're at 325.
332 now. So
wow.
It's coming, but it's really starting to darken up now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And putting the nuts in is going to bring the temp down too.
Yeah. So. Now, just a lot of it's the color and the smell. So you can really smell the the caramelization. Wish you had smell-o-vision so you can understand it.
I can smell it right now.
Well, it's close enough for me. So we're getting close enough to the darkness here. So
you can kind of see the color there.
If you can see the color pretty well in there,
yep.
It's pretty dark now. So we'll just turn in. We'll pour in the almonds. The next part is you're just going to kind of fold them in there. Fold the almonds because you're going to roast them. So the next process after we keep folding this in here is once you smell the almonds that they're roasted, they smell roasted, then it's time to pull it out. You'll pour in the other ingredients in there, the salt and the baking soda. But right now all you're doing is just coating the nuts with the syrup, moving it around so they don't stick together. Keeping them kind of separated out.
Kind of nice because I have to pre-toast my almonds when I do my toffee. Toasting it in the sugar is a nice quick step.
And that's the only way we've ever done it. So like I said, you just kind of sit there and turn to make sure they're all still good and coated. As you see, it's still good and caramelized color in there. You can start to smell it, but I don't smell the nuts yet. But we're getting close. Now, when you get to this point where you're about ready to pull it out, and you smell that the nuts are toasted enough for what you're looking for, you turn the fire off immediately. You're ready with your salt and baking soda, and you pour it in, and then you got to stir real quickly because it's going to really fluff up on you, and it'll be ready to pour out. And you're going to pour it out immediately after that. You can even hear the almonds cracking.
What temper are you at now? Did it drop?
337.
Still high, cool.
So, okay, I got a good smell on the almonds now, and I can smell them and they're toasted. So
yeah, I can smell them too.
All right. Turn off there. We'll pour in the ingredients. As you watch, it's starting to lighten up.
Yep.
In there,
foamed right up.
All right, and all you're just going to do is just pour it out. We've done some where we've actually made small little batches, little circles in there before. It will find its own level. It will automatically find its own level. So you can scrape this out and get everything in there. It's got good color to it. We always made the small round circles. They were about 8-9 inches across. And then we'd always serve them when we gave them out for family and friends. Christmas time, that's what we'd always do. We'd put a couple in a bag.
So you put the whole circle in the bag? So this amount here probably could have did like three circles probably, or 4. But that's what she looks like right there. It's going to cool down. It smells really good.
Alright, so now we got this. You're going to want to rinse out all the stuff in the pan. Super hot water to get the pan all. See, this stuff is just, once it hardens up on the spatula and everything else, the hotter the water, the easier it comes off. Dad always used a wooden spoon. He swears by the wooden spoon because you got to scrape it. A lot of times you got to scrape on the inside of the pan and everything else. But just hot water, a lot of times will automatically just really take this off here. So, it's going to be sticky on the inside of that pan.
We got our pan on a cooling rack, so the brittle cools down a little quicker. Plus our house, we run it pretty cool in the winter, so it won't take long to cool it down. Alright, Steve's going to get going on one more batch. Get another one going.
Okay, so once you get it to a point where it's actually kind of, you can actually flip it over. That'll help with the cooling portion of it. Sometimes you can get it to loosen up a little bit, but it also just helps with the cooling part. It's still going to be warm. Okay, shoes on the other foot now. Mark's going to do one here. This is his batch.
He's trusting me with his recipe here.
Mark has shared many recipes with me, and he's usually the one I call to ask, hey, what do I put in this? He always tells me, what's the recipe say?
Well, you got to have the recipe first. I'm going to try to do a little bit lighter batch so we can do a taste comparison of the two, just if you're curious. So I'm at like 280 right now. I'm going to go ahead and add the nuts, get them roasting. Because for the lighter batch, I want to come out at 300 like they do with like peanut brittle and see how that comes out. I've always been curious.
So Mark, do you smell the nuts? Are you getting a flavor of the roasted nuts yet?
I think I can. We're at 293. We're almost there, almost at 300. 298.
What's the color look like? Huh?
Okay, we're at 300, so let's turn the fire off. All this goes in, right?
Yep, all of it goes in there. Stir it up really fast. Harder, all the way, stir it. And then pour it out once it's all fully mixed in, and just pour it out.
So even when it's light like this?
Yep, just like that. A lot lighter batch than we're used to making, but we're going to find out if it tastes better or not.
We're going to try.
50 plus years of doing the same recipe, and we're going to try to do something different.
I shouldn't be messing
And you
with
shouldn't
that.
be touching it like that. Let it sit.
Okay, yeah. All right, we're going to break up our almond brittle. We put it in a bag so when it shatters, it doesn't get all over the place. All right, that's our first batch. Okay, we're here for the taste test. This is the 300 degrees. This is the 315 degrees. This is the 330 degrees. So get after it, Steve. Which one are you doing first?
I'll do the 300.
Do the 300 first. Want some, Kel? Not as much flavor as that one. I've already had that one. But it's not terrible. Let's go with the 315.
I like the color on this one here.
Much more depth of flavor in that one. This one tastes kind of bland because there's no like caramelization.
Definitely.
But this is better than this one. So let's go with the 330. That's even bolder.
330.
330 is the one. What do you think, Kel?
I like the 315.
315 better? I would venture to say if we had another container in here, about 320, I think that would be my perfect. But
Or I could pour this one in that one, and we wouldn't have to worry about it.
yeah. But the more color you give it, the better the flavor is. I imagine you can get too far with that, but this here, I mean, it's not terrible brittle, but much better flavor over here.
You're not getting the roasted almond as much.
Yeah.
And this one here compared to these two here. This one has a little bit better color. This one's just a little bit darker.
You get sweet and nutty with this one.
Yeah,
This one almost is on the verge of tasting burnt.
Yeah. So go with the 3.
What do you think, Renee?
I'm going with the middle.
The middle one, the
Yep.
315?
Yep.
All right, 315 it is. All right, folks, there you go. The Macedo family famous almond brittle. I keep wanting to say peanut brittle. But fantastic recipe.
Yep.
Do it the way Steve does it because it comes out so much better.
Without a thermometer.
And how many years you've been?
50 plus years.
50 plus years they've been making that stuff. So thank you, Pop, for the recipe. I love you. I miss you. Wish you were here with us. So till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come back and see us here on Markelly Farm.
See ya.